अमलवी मास्टर
अमलवी
स्पिरिट्स की बात कर रहे हैं. कितने एनकाउंटर्स हुए हैं मास्टर? एनीथिंग दैट यू रिकॉल नंबर वाइज?
No, I've done ghost finding at different houses. I've seen shadow people. I do have a video of that also.
अब तो इतना ज्यादा शाज़म है ऑनलाइन कि हम जान there are levels of spirits right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other day I was listening to this podcast and said there's this इस भूत को भगाने के लिए ये करना चाहिए और इस तरीके के भूत को भगाने के लिए ये करना चाहिए. And I'm like, oh my God, when did this whole thing leveled into so many different categories?
When somebody says possessed by a spirit, my understanding of it always comes from the movies that I watch. And then the depossession of that also is pretty much what I see in the movie.
Yeah.
I want to know, how is it for you?
I think it's absolutely not like the movies. I think I was in class 11 and I was possessed by a spirit at that time. I have conversations with my spirit guide and my guardian angel most of the time, like they're here. Jara, Jofiel, I couldn't stay at the mall for like 10 minutes. I could possibly hear every person talking to each other.
And how spooky is that?
It is very spooky. It is very, very, very different. After 10 steps, I turn around and she's not there.
Just 10 steps.
Just 10 steps. And she was just not there. There's no way that she could have wrapped all of that up and ran from there. Because I've not studied. I am not a person who studied spirituality. I'm not a person who studied paganism. I'm not a person who studied Norse. We make other people talk to the spirit and we make other people also understand their own past lives. Even in their past life, they have to go and see their dead body.
Amalvi Soul Stars, welcome to Master Vani Kabir's Faithcast. Why Faithcast? Because Faithcast is all about bringing Master Vani Kabir's wisdom on love, spirituality, relationships, health, your subconscious mind, your soul's journey, and overcoming trauma. So let's begin this journey of faith, because this is not a podcast, it's Faithcast. Amalvi Master.
Amalvi.
Master, I have to say you're looking gorgeous today, as always.
Thank you.
ये आपकी braid की कहानी क्या है?
I'm weaving a spell in the braid every time. So, yeah, this has got a new spell today.
Can I ask you what?
No. No.
It's the spell of love.
Yeah. It's love, all the good things.
Oh my. So how are we doing today, Master? When you woke up today morning, what was the first thought that came to your mind?
I think I spoke with my spirit guide.
And what did the spirit guide say?
Lots of things. I mean, I always discuss, like, he's like my go-to person when I need to start something new and plan something new, and for everything, you know, I have conversations with my spirit guide and my guardian angel most of the time, like they're here. Jara, Jofiel. So
Jofiel, beauty. Okay, so spirit guides, when you talk about spirit guides, to probably somebody who's tuned in to your our channel for the first time and they're listening to Faithcast for the first time, who is a spirit guide and what is a spirit guide?
a spirit guide is somebody in the spirit realm who's chosen to guide you. It's just as simple as that. You may have had a connection with them in your past lives, or your parents would have had a connection with them, or you would know them through, you may be friends before, you may be family before, you may be acquaintances before, you may be a master and a disciple before, and they just choose to guide you through the rest of your other reincarnations.
I'm very curious to know when and what was your first experience with your spirit guide?
My spirit guide experience was very beautiful. So I met Jara in 2020, beginning of 2020. And it was through a beautiful meditation that my grandmaster did for me. And we were on this leafy boat, and we were both sitting on that boat, and he was like navigating the boat, and we were just sitting and talking. And that's my first encounter with him. I had so many questions and so many things that I had to ask him. And ever since then, he's been around.
Wow. And if I were to ask you, when was your first experience with spirit per se?
I think I was in class 11 and I was possessed by a spirit at that time. There was one afternoon that I stepped over something, like people do all this tuna totka on the road, and I was on my way to my tuition, and I just accidentally stepped over it, and I had like after that I used to have these extremely very, very painful headaches. And then we showed it to a doctor. I was hospitalized for a month and nothing came out. All the reports were normal. And then my parents resorted to going to the gurudwaras and yahan se ye aa raha hai aur wahan se wo aa raha hai. I did all of that also. So I had these headaches, and then with the headaches, I used to have these lesions on my body, like somebody has scratched my body and used to burn like hell. And so that is when my parents got very alarmed about it, that there's something that is not just normal. It's not just a headache. And so everybody said it's a migraine. Somebody said it's a lesion. Somebody said what. And I was admitted to Apollo Millennium, which was opposite Ganga Ram in Karol Bagh, Delhi. And I was there, and I didn't practically give my 11th exams. I was promoted to class 12 based on my previous this thing, because for 6 months I wasn't able to go to school. And then we met somebody who was able to help us, and he did certain rituals with me for around 21 days, and then I got better. And he exactly narrated it, that this is how it happened, that she's accidentally stepped over something. It's not something that was done for her. It was somebody just wanted to get rid of one of their own things, and it just happened.
But Master, pardon my knowledge and curiosity, but I really want to know, jitna, when somebody says possessed by a spirit, my understanding of it always comes from the movies that I watch. And then the deep possession of that also is pretty much what I see in the movies.
Yes.
And I want to know, how is it for you?
I think it's absolutely not like the movies. It's much subtle and much calmer that way, because it's not that I stepped over it and it got me. It was, when I look at it now, I also see that I was under a lot of duress at that time, because there was this guy that I was dating in my school, and he started dating another person, and I had lost a very good friendship at that time in my school. She was a very dear friend to me, and then we were suddenly not talking. And these 2-3 incidents that happened together, my energy field was very low at that time. And probably I was very negative also around that time, because there was just so much that was going on in my life. And to top that, I stepped over it and, got it. It's like when you have a low immunity, you'll catch a virus.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But do you recall your first ever spiritual awakening then?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one story that I like to repeat also a lot. And so I was in Scotland in 2013, right before my divorce. And every time I go to another country, I normally dress up in the morning and I go for a walk. And as much as I can walk and see, that's my favorite thing to do. So I was out on the road and I was just, taking a stroll, early morning, fresh breeze and everything. And I see this woman, and this very old woman, she was sitting on the roadside, and she had this kapda, and she had all the very interesting things on it, which I didn't know at that time what they mean. And, but it looked very eclectic and very interesting. So I stopped by, and I think it would have been around 6:30 in the morning. And so she told me to sit down, and, generally like how you're curious to know things. And I sat down, and, she just said that, you should learn this. And I was like, learn what? And she said, you should learn this. And I said, okay, but I don't know any of this. And and she was like, no, you will learn this. And then I just felt that, okay, this is getting too much into my personal space. And, she's like almost commanding me, and let me just go from here. And I would have just walked 10 steps away from her. And during those 10 steps, I'm just thinking that I was very curious about the runes that were there, and I didn't know what they were. And I just said, I just thought, let me just ask her what this is, just in case I have to do something about it. So after 10 steps, I turn around and she's not there.
Just 10 steps.
Just 10 steps. And she was just not there. There's no way that she could have wrapped all of that up and ran from there.
Yeah.
Because I could see the end of the road. It was like really, I could see like to the fag end of the road. And there was nobody.
Like 10 steps is yahan se yahan.
Yahan se yahan tak. And I was flabbergasted. I was like, what just happened? And then I was like, no, I'm thinking. No, I'm not thinking, So that continued to happen. And at the same time, I'm thinking what those symbols were, on those stones. And then we went to this Scotland castle, and वहाँ से जब भी आप castle से निकलते हो, so there's a museum shop and everything. So at the museum shop, I saw a ring which had those symbols.
Okay.
So then I asked the person, what is this and stuff. They said it is runes, it's like this and that. And they told me the entire history of it. And I somehow felt so familiar with it. I felt like I just know this, So I bought that ring for myself and I wore it for a really long time, like 4 or 5 years. And then I lost it. But that's how my journey in runes began. So I came back and then I approached certain people online to learn runes, and every time they would teach me something, I would know more, and I would feel that how do I know this, because I haven't done anything. And then I think my first rune reading that I did, like a cast of runes, was in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my first spiritual awakening incident where I just knew that I saw something, but I couldn't explain it.
While this sounds very mystical, but again, pardon my knowledge and curiosity, are spiritual awakenings easy, hard? What is it like when one is going through
So
that?
for a lot of people, they think it's like a switch.
हाँ.
उनको ऐसा लगता है कि एक बस ऐसे switch on or off हो गया है. But it's not that. A spiritual awakening is a process, and there comes a moment which defines a before and after in your life. For me, that moment was when I was in very, very turbulent relationship in my marriage around 2010, 2011. That particular year really shifted the way that I have seen my life.
Yeah.
So, and after that, the spiritual incidents started happening. In 2012, I wanted to write a book about some galaxy that I could think of. And I started journaling. There's a journal that I have from 2012, and that's got some really absurd languages in it. I don't know what they mean. Till date, I don't know. But I did did receive a lot of downloads around that time. So it's not like a switch ki aaj suddenly from today onwards I am a spiritual person. It's not that. It's a journey that you go through, and whether it's easy or hard depends on the number of traumas that you have to work with.
Yeah.
So if your traumas that you're carrying from your past life are a lot, then of course, it takes time for you to process, because spirituality is like seeing a mirror and you can't hide.
Yeah.
So whatever is there is there.
Yeah.
So if you have a mole on your face, it will show the mole on your face.
Yeah.
If you have a scar on your face, it will show the scar on your face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is what it is inside is what's going to be reflected outside. So it's easy or hard for people. Like, I don't think it's easy at all. I think it's hard. All the people I've met, it's hard only.
Oh, wow. But then when you say it is hard, is hard and draining the same thing, or are they two different things altogether?
Initially, it is draining also because your body is not used to that kind of energy. So like today I'm wearing crystals and I'm wearing gemstones and everything, and there's a power that I feel within and around me.
Right.
But when I started wearing them, initially it took time for my body to adjust to that level of frequency that I'm working at. And then when you have all these spirit encounters and you talk to spirits and you work with spirits all the time, so your energy field it just keeps expanding because it's got to accommodate so much more.
Yeah.
So initially that is very draining because your emotional body is high, your mental body is high, your astral body is even higher, your causal body is even higher, and your physical body is trying to cope up.
Yeah.
And that is why a lot of healers, a lot of spiritualists would go through episodes of anxiety and depression and chronic fatigue and regular body pains and body aches. It's a part and parcel of it because your physical body is constantly trying to match up to your emotional, physical, emotional, causal, astral body.
Yeah. Speaking of this only, I remember watching a reel where you spoke about a cross on your palm.
Yeah.
That you had. Very, very, very curious to know what was it all about.
Okay, so it was in 2019, and there was a stigmata that appeared on my hand, and all of a sudden, and then it kept appearing for a really long period of time, like maybe a year, and it used to come and it used to go away, and it was like it is embossed from the outside. And it always used to be the same thing. And so that's when my psychic journey began. I met a lot of psychics. Initially, a lot of doctors who said, no, it's nothing. You must have done this. You must have done that. But nothing made sense.
Yeah.
And then I met a lot of psychics. And those psychics were the ones who put sense into the whole thing. That this is not a stigmata. It is a compass. And it is pointing you to your galaxy. And that is where the wisdom is coming from. So all these things that I used to feel, that how do I know what I know?
Yeah.
Because I've not studied. I am not a person who studied spirituality. I'm not a person who studied paganism. I'm not a person who studied Norse. But all of these things I happen to know. And I happen to know it at the depth of it. It's not like on the surface level. I may have read a few books around that, but it is only after I got to know the depth of it, and I wanted to validate what I know, or I wanted to express better what I know. That's when books came in, So that's when they said that all of this information is like coming from an intergalactic channel. So that was very special for me. Like the first time I had this compass, I went to the mall after that thinking it's nothing. And I couldn't stay at the mall for like 10 minutes. I could possibly hear every person talking to each other.
And how spooky is that?
It is very spooky. It is very, very, very different. I don't know how to even express that incident, or most of the spiritual incidents that I felt. Like there was a time that I was traveling in my car from my home to office, and I had a child sitting next to me.
Like not a physical child.
Not a physical child. And I called Aman and I said that there's a child in my car. And he's like, what? I said, yeah, there's a child in my car. And he's like, okay, what are you going to do about it? I said, nothing. What is he doing? I said, nothing. And he stayed with me for the whole day. In my office. We used to have a red couch, and he was sitting on the red couch the whole day. And I didn't know what to do. And you just think that, I used to think I'm going crazy and I'm going mental and I'm going to be demented and God knows what not. And then a few months later, I had this person, so we used to have this terrace where we used to have lunch in our office, So it was winter, and मैं अपना tiffin box लेके ऊपर जा रही हूँ, बाकी के सब लोग भी आ रहे हैं. And there was used to be this table where everyone used to sit, and I just suddenly see this jelly-like figure sitting next to me, and I'm looking at everyone. That is everyone also seeing what I'm seeing, but it wasn't that. They were all just, sitting with each other, and apparently no one came and sat next to me. Like, if you're sitting all across, somebody would come and sit next to you.
Right.
But no one did. Like, as if they could feel that there is somebody, but they couldn't see. And I could feel and see both.
Wow.
So I have had so many of these unexplained incidents with the spirits that it's uncanny. I think मेरे बहुत पुराने reels भी अगर कोई जाके देखेगा तो मैं उस पे भी कुछ reels बना रही थी. But I had this corner in my house where Jophiel was constantly there.
How do you distinguish between a good spirit or a bad spirit? Or is there something called as a bad spirit, good spirit, master?
No, there are no bad spirits. So all of this gyan of voodoo that is going on, कि ये evil है और ये ऐसा है और ये demonic है और ये भूत and पिशाच, and there are no bad spirits. There are only hurt spirits. So people who've had very difficult lives and they don't know how to exit their lives, and they've been stuck in that situation for a really, really long time. A lot of people will say that, oh, you are so empathetic towards them, but that is what spirituality teaches you. You don't have to bash a demon out of your body. You just have to understand and acknowledge that it is there, and you have to understand the reason why it is there, and that's how you release a spirit. It's not what you see in the movies. It's not like an exorcism. If you understand what demon is, so it's D, moon, So moon is your emotion, and D means negative, so it's a negative emotion, So if the negative emotion grows to a certain amount of frequency, it will attract certain negative spirits. So the first thing comes from you. So there are no evil spirits. They're just hurt. They're just misunderstood, misled, confused. They are not able to see their dead body, because in the spirit world, they say that the moment the spirit is able to see their own dead body, they will go, they will ascend. And even in the practices that we do, where we make other people talk to the spirit and we make other people also understand their own past lives, even in their past life, they have to go and see their dead body. So if I take you into your past life, no matter what work we do our cleansing, we do our reworking in the past life. But before you come back to this life, it is mandatory for you to see your dead body, the way you died in that life. Otherwise you're going to carry that spirit along with you in this realm.
Right. But when you have these spirit encounters, right, and you're saying that there is no good and there is no bad spirit, hurt spirits, in a situation like that, when somebody who's unaware of all of these things, because अब तो इतना ज़्यादा chasm है online कि हम there are levels of spirits right now.
Yeah. The other day I was listening to this podcast and said there's this इस भूत को भगाने के लिए ये करना चाहिए और इस तरीके के भूत को भगाने के लिए ये करना चाहिए. And I'm like, oh my God, when did this whole thing leveled into so many different categories?
Yeah, they're talking about Satan and this and that, and I'm like, chal kya raha hai? Like, what exactly is happening? And there was also something that really stayed with me, that there are different levels of spirits, bad spirits, and then there are different ways of getting rid of them also. Master,
making spirituality simple. I think this should be not just my motto, it should be the motto of so many other people. Making spirituality simple.
But then there are also different types of, let's say, spirit guides, ascended masters. Like, how do you differentiate between who is what?
So a spirit guide is a person in the spirit realm who's decided to guide you through this journey. An ascended master is a person who's lived through the real earth plane as I am living right now. So if I am living right now and you are living right now, you can choose to be an ascended master to somebody tomorrow. You've ascended this plane, so you know what this plane holds, what are the kind of challenges, how to navigate through those challenges. So it's like a first-hand experience. While the spirit guide may be coming from any other galaxy, or any other multiverse, they may not know the nitty-gritties of what is going on here. Right. So your ancestors your ascended masters are the ones who've lived on this plane and who've ascended, and they are ready to help you. And then you have your ancestors, which is your bloodline, and they are there to teach you about the traumas that have lived through the family, and some of them are active and some of them are passive. And once in a while there's a black sheep who would come and then destroy and work with all the traumas and bring balance to the entire lineage.
So I know you have your spirit guides with you. Have you met your ancestors or ascended masters?
I meet my ancestors every week, probably. I do rituals for them every week. I meet them in one way or the other. Like, I am to do a ritual for 4 of my female lineage, like my mother, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother, and me. So I'm releasing a certain amount of trauma that I have figured out recently through my understanding. And there is a ritual that needs to be done. And it needs to be done before the coming Thursday. So I am going to do that ritual. And so I meet them very regularly. Like, I do have an ancestor altar at my place. As much as I have a mandir, I do have an ancestor altar.
Does it ever happen that people come to you with similar experiences like yours, but they're not willing to probably take on this spiritual awakening or
a lot of times. See, it's a path that chooses you. You do not choose it. Like, I did not choose it. I was very happy being a senior creative director, flying business class, winning Cannes Gold and getting ads published and everything. And then suddenly all of this happened. And I wasn't even confident of the fact that I will be able to pull it through. And if you ask me till date, I still have jitters that, oh my God, am I doing the right thing? I should not hurt other people's sentiments, and I should not give them any knowledge which is not right. So I keep prepping myself up. I do so much work on myself, Hesha, that I haven't seen any other spiritual person doing that much work. And I'm so proud of myself to do it. I read a lot. I do my rituals on time. I do everything that I ask my soul stars to do. So it's not that, आप ऐसे करो, इसको यहाँ बांध के यहाँ रख दो और इससे ये हो जाएगा. No. If I'm giving you a house manifestation ritual, it is because I manifested my houses on that. If I am telling you that, okay, do this affirmation because this got wealth for me, I think that is what works in the market. That is what people understand, because I'm not giving them something jali. कि मैंने ये इंटरनेट पे देखा और ये 4 लाइनें उठाई और वो आपको लगा दें कि आप ये कर लो, और मैंने कभी किया ही नहीं है वो. So it has never been and I think that is why people think that the feedback that I get always is that you're authentic. And I think that is the biggest motivator for me, to be authentic and to put out the wisdom that I have experienced myself.
Right. अब स्पिरिट गाइड्स की हम बात कर रहे हैं, स्पिरिट्स की बात कर रहे हैं, कितने एनकाउंटर्स हुए हैं मास्टर? एनीथिंग दैट यू रिकॉल नंबर वाइज?
No, I think I've done ghost finding at different houses.
Oh my God.
I've done I've seen shadow people. So shadow people, I do have a video of that also. And so it's like how do I explain? So घर के बाहर कैमरा लगा हुआ है और बाहर रोड दिख रही है आपको, और रोड के ऊपर आपको 2 शैडोज चलती हुई दिखाई दे रही हैं, लेकिन आदमी नहीं है. So they're shadow people.
ये कोई इंसान प्रोसेस कैसे कर रहे हैं?
So when we are in our psychic circles and we are learning all those things, so we learn that. And then I also posted about orbs, coming to this office, so there were these videos that I posted and there were these white lights. A lot of people said, no, it is Jala and this is Machhar and this is whatever. But if you actually see those videos, and it never happened after that. Had it been a Jala or a Machhar, we would have continued that series for 20 years, but it's not that. So they came and they gave the message. I do have their message also with me, and I did post a video also about the message that they gave us. And so there's so many of them. Like, I've been hurt by spirits during my encounters. I've been scared of them. There was a healing that I did in Bangkok, and it was very, very, very scary. Like, I think in my entire lifetime there have only been 2 healings where I have encountered negative spirits to that extent. And like somebody who would really, really want to hurt you because they have been so butchered and hurt. And so those were the 2 that I was very scared about. But when you realize where they are coming from, when they tell you their story, that is when you feel that, oh my God, you just empathize that we are so sorry that you had to go through this. What is it that I can do to release you? You've invited me there. So the spirit chooses who's going to come and release.
Okay.
So it's not जैसे लोग कहते हैं कि हम आपसे healing कराने आएंगे, देखेंगे, सोचेंगे. तो मैं उनको हमेशा यही बोलती हूँ that if your trauma has chosen me, that I have to release it, no matter what you do, you're going to be here. And if it is not that case, even if I do a free healing for you, it will not work.
It will not work.
So your trauma chooses the person that it needs to be healed from.
But Master, you're saying because you at this given point of time have these downloads, from, let's say, your intergalactic knowledge or your spirit guides. But for somebody like myself or anybody else who's just probably started their spiritual journey, when they have these encounters, with, say, negative spirits, now that I'm better aware, I will not call them evil spirits.
Yeah.
Should we be scared?
Absolutely not. There's nothing to be scared about. They're trying to just tell you something. That's it. It's like a negative emotion. You may feel very eerie about it, and you may feel very scared about it, and you may feel that we don't know ab kya hone wala hai, But all that negative emotion is trying to tell you is something that you need to change, or something that it needs help with. So of course, as a normal person, you wouldn't know what to do with it and stuff. Hence the cleansing exercises and the cord cutting and, bay leaf rituals and so much protection that one can use to work with themselves for the lack of knowledge, because we've learned this over the years, so we can't expect someone to learn it overnight.
Yeah.
But then reach out to somebody and say that, yesterday I was walking down the road at night and I felt someone's following me, reach out to somebody, or I had this very weird dream, or I felt the weight on my chest when I was sleeping, or I had an OBE experience, reach out to somebody and they will be able to help you better. And most of the things can get solved in like one session. They don't even take long. Again, there are a lot of people who would say, इसमें आपके 20 session लगेंगे. अब इसमें ऐसा हो जाएगा. They're just trying to make things cumbersome, because if they don't make it cumbersome, you will not go back to them. When people come to me for a reading, I don't tell them to come back to me. Because if I'm calling them back over and over again, that means I'm not doing my job. So if you come to me with a problem, I have to solve it then.
Yeah.
And the next time you can come to me, but with a different problem. You can't come back to me with the same problem. Then I'm not doing my healings right. I'm not doing my readings right, or you're not taking my advice. If you are persisting, there are people who would come and not take the advice, and then they would come back after 2 years and say that I'm still in the same issue. And my first thing is that, did you do what I asked? If not, you're wasting your money this time. So come with a thought process when you want to change. Don't go to astrologers and healers. Abhi isse baat kar liya, abhi isse baat kar liya. You're exposing your energy too much.
Right.
If you go to 3 astrologers and all of those 3 astrologers have their different take on it, one, that you're going to be confused.
Yeah.
The other thing is you're just exposing your energy so much. And it's not good.
No, it's not good. But then, Master, I want to ask you, when people are going to so many astrologers or healers to get themselves treated, or maybe they're having like a spiritual encounter, or probably they're having
Just finding solution.
Sir, finding solution. जब solution नहीं मिल रहे हैं, problems बढ़ती ही जा रही है, then they get upset and depressed, and then they probably go to Google, YouTube for rituals and remedies. I don't know, how effective are they?
See, some of the people who've put up rituals and remedies on YouTube, Google, Instagram, they're very good because they're talking out of knowledge which backs that ritual.
Right.
It's not like when I put up a ritual and I say it's 123 years old, it is 123 years old. And if you go and read the right text, you will find it. I'm not making that at home. It's not coming out of my kitchen. I may be using kitchen ingredients, but I did not make it up in the kitchen. So there are a lot of rituals and remedies which are very good, said by different people, especially the practices that they tell about subconscious mind, affirmations, working with yourself, scripting method, 369, 555. They're all proven methods of manifestation. And manifestation is not just wealth. A lot of people think बस पैसा manifest कर लें. But अगर relationship और health नहीं है आपके side पे, तो आप पैसा manifest नहीं कर पाओगे. So if you want to manifest, like a lot of people say, citrine दे दो. We want to wear a citrine. So I always say कि पहले health वाला भी पहनो साथ में. Health के साथ में relationship वाला भी पहनो. Because ये तीनों होंगे एक साथ तभी तो गाड़ी चलेगी ना. ये तो एक ही ऑटो के 3 पहिए है. You can't have 1 running and 2 sitting like this. और फिर आप बोलो हमारी तो हो नहीं रही, हमारी गाड़ी आगे नहीं जा रही. नहीं जाएगी ना, because they're all connected.
Yeah. Master, allow me to take you back to your previous experience that you spoke about, जब आपने अपने घर पे या किसी पार्टी पे spirits को देखा है. अब जब हम share करते हैं ऐसे experiences किसी के साथ, तो you very rightly said they're probably outcasted, and then they're not taken seriously. Doctors give it different names also sometimes. How does one deal with that if they're going through something like this then?
Let me ask you this first. Who are you?
Hesha.
Who's Hesha?
Spirit.
Are you scared of yourself?
No.
Then why would you be scared of any other spirit?
Probably because I don't know what the other spirit's intention is.
Yes, but if they have an intention, you have an intention too. Right? If you wake up with an intention that I am protected, I'm taken care of. A lot of times, initially when we start working with the spirit world, we are asked to protect ourselves in white light circle, throughout the day. Now we don't. Because the first thing that I wake up in the morning is I know that I'm protected. Jara and Jofil are taking care of me. And that's it. And it's just the belief that works with. And no negative spirit can ever counter a positive belief. There is no way. They will not even come near you. Because your internal system is so strong. Again, your spiritual immunity is so strong that you will not catch that virus.
So then, Master, how does one strengthen their spiritual immunity?
Meditation. Number one, foremost, very important, cannot escape it. We need to do meditation. We need to teach our children to meditate. We need to work with ourselves. Meditation builds up your spiritual immunity like anything. You need to sit with yourself. You need to see the nuances in your body. You have to build that awareness. There are times in my body that I feel the blood flow in my body. That is the heightened sense of awareness that one should get to. You will never face any psychic attack, never any evil attack, never any evil eye. Evil eye लगेगा, आप एक शादी में गए, बहुत अच्छे लग रहे थे, 2 दिन आपको लगेगा अरे यार आज अच्छा नहीं है मूड, कोई बात नहीं, छोटा सा रिचुअल करोगे, निकल जाओगे. Nothing that will spoil your business, spoil your health, spoil your relationships, spoil your relationship with your children. None of that will ever happen.
Master, I've heard you say a lot of ritual over remedy.
Yeah.
क्या है difference ये ritual और remedy में?
See, ritual is protection, remedy is cure. So ritual आप तब करते हो जब आप कोई प्रॉब्लम एंटिसिपेट करते हो दैट ये इशू आ सकता है. जैसे मैंने नया बिजनेस ओपन किया, तो मैंने जब अपना बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया, जब मैंने वानी कबीर स्टूडियो स्टार्ट किया और फिर जब मैंने जेम स्टोरी भी स्टार्ट किया, तो मैंने वो रिचुअल्स जेम स्टोरी और स्टूडियो के लिए तब से स्टार्ट कर दिए, वो सारे रिचुअल्स. क्योंकि बिजनेस है, डाउनफॉल कभी तो आएगा ही ना, हमेशा तो ऐसे नहीं जाएगा. इट विल बी लाइक दिस ऑल्सो एंड इट बी लाइक दिस ऑल्सो. सो दैट इज अ रिचुअल दैट आई एम डूइंग फॉर इट. एंड एट द सेम टाइम देयर इज अ रेमेडी दैट यू डू, दैट ओके नाउ आई एम इन डेट, अब मैं क्या करूं, है ना, अब तो मेरा रिलेशनशिप खराब हो गया है, अब मैं क्या करूं, यू नो. बट अगर आपकी शादी हुई है और आप तब से एक वीकली रिचुअल फॉलो कर रहे हो या तब से एक मंथली रिचुअल भी फॉलो कर रहे हो, यू नो, योर मैरिज विल ऑलवेज सस्टेन एंड इट विल ऑलवेज बी गुड. सो ये जो रेमेडीज हैं, एक तो कुछ रेमेडीज बहुत पुराने हैं और बहुत पावरफुल हैं, और जो रेमेडीज घर में बनाए हुए हैं उसका कोई फायदा नहीं है. दे आर एज गुड एज नथिंग. दे जस्ट गिविंग लाइक it's like a lollipop to a crying baby. कि वो थोड़ी देर के लिए चुप हो जाएगा क्योंकि उसको एक लॉलीपॉप मिल गया है और वो बिजी हो गया. सो दे आर ऑल जस्ट गिविंग लॉलीपॉप्स टू यू, यू नो दैट ओके, जब तक ये 25 हफ्ते ये करेंगे तब तक कहाँ इनको याद रहने वाला है कि हमारे पास आके कोई जवाब देना है. एंड ऊपर से सेल्फ डाउट इतना क्रिएट हो जाएगा कि पता नहीं मैंने सही किया है या नहीं किया है. सो रिचुअल्स जो है वो बहुत क्लियर है अपने आप में कि आप ये चीज करोगे और ये रिजल्ट आएगा, इंस्टेंट पता चलता है. आप ट्राई करो, आप 10 चीजें लेट गो करने के लिए बे लीफ पे लिखो, एक व्हाइट कलर का कैंडल जलाओ और जस्ट शांति से बैठ जाओ. पुट एनी म्यूजिक विच यू फील इज नाइस. इट कैन बी अ सॉन्ग, इट कैन बी अ मंत्रा, इट कैन बी अ मेडिटेशन, वॉट एवर. एंड एक एक करके उस चीज को पढ़ो और लाइट कर दो और रिलीज कर दो. एक एक चीज को पढ़ो और रिलीज कर दो. Within 10 minutes of doing this, you will feel lighter. You'll have a perfect sleep.
You're saying using bay leaf to release. मैं देखती हूँ इंटरनेट पे bay leaf manifestation.
Do मैं.
Oh God.
कोई भी चीज आप जला रहे हो तो वो मैनिफेस्ट कैसे होगी?
तो हम जो
सबकॉन्शियस सोचो ना, योर सबकॉन्शियस इज 5 million times more powerful than your conscious mind and is observing so much more. पुराने जमाने में in 1800th century जो लोग सबकॉन्शियस माइंड को स्टडी करते थे उन्हें एलियनिस्ट बोला जाता था. क्यों? क्योंकि उन्हें लगता था कि जो सबकॉन्शियस माइंड से जो चीजें हो रही हैं वो एलियंस है, यू नो. सो उस समय उनको डॉक्टर्स भी नहीं बोला जाता था, यूज्ड टू कॉल देम एलियनिस्ट. एंड जो लोग साइको एनालिसिस करते थे या जिनको साइकोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम्स होते थे उनको डॉक्टर्स ट्रीट नहीं करते थे, उनको एलियनिस्ट ट्रीट करते थे. So there was this psycho murder series that happened in 1850s, I guess. And there was this person who was mentally retarded and he was going on a killing spree, you know. So the policemen were not able to find the answer to it and they hired an alienist. And the alienist used to, जो crime scene होता था उस पे जितने लोग आइडेंटिफाई होते थे वो उन सबके उनको सबको हिप्नोटाइज करके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड से इंफॉर्मेशन निकालता था. क्योंकि अगर मैंने एक एक्सीडेंट अपने सामने होते हुए देखा है, मेरे सबकॉन्शियस ने उसके आसपास 1500 और चीजें ऑब्जर्व करी हैं जो मेरे कॉन्शियस माइंड को पता भी नहीं है. सो व्हेन आई पुट यू इन दैट हिप्नोटिक स्टेट और इन दैट ट्रांस, आई एम एबल टू सी ऑल ऑफ दोज थिंग्स and you're able to tell me all of those things. So for me to catch that person is more easy. This was a practice back in 1850.
My God.
So your subconscious mind is so powerful. You know, अगर आप उसके सामने कोई चीज बर्न कर रहे हो, इसका मतलब in Hindu terms, Agni has absorbed it. You've given it to Agni.
Yeah.
Right? So you've given it to the fire. And the fire element is, फायर एलिमेंट जो भी चीज आप फायर को देते हो वो पूरे तरीके से अब्सॉर्ब कर लेती है और फायर ही रहती है ना. आप पानी में कुछ मिक्स करोगे कलर चेंज हो जाएगा, आप हवा में कोई कलर डालोगे कलर चेंज, एवरीथिंग विल चेंज एक्सेप्ट फायर. फायर रिमेन्स फायर. So when you're giving something to fire, how are you manifesting it? It's just so logical. Forget about who's saying what. Don't go with what I am also saying. But it's just so logical. What do we burn in life? What we don't need. Have you ever seen somebody buying a house and burning?
No.
और गाड़ी खरीदी आग लगा दी?
नहीं.
कपड़े खरीदे आग लगा दिए?
नहीं.
तो फिर जो चीज जानी है उसी को तो आप बोलते हो ना कि इसको श्रेड कर दो, इसको फेंक दो, इसको कट कर दो.
Let it go.
When you are at the level at which I'm operating right now, the spirit encounters are very usual. Like, I would see a person online and I would see spirits around, and then you have to just be quiet about it. It's okay. We are living, they are co-inhabiting with us. It's not a different world that they are coming from.
Do we have spirits right
We
now?
have spirits everywhere. Everywhere.
Wow.
So it's just that they are living with us, and that's it.
Coexisting.
Coexisting. And your subconscious mind is so aware of it. And your subconscious mind takes care of 95% of your body functions. Your conscious mind is only 5% of it.
Yeah.
So imagine the power of subconscious mind. That Joseph Murphy book, वो इतने सालों से बिक्री है. क्यों बिक्री? Because it's really good.
Implementation. I think uski implementation is needed.
Yes.
Speaking of books, I'm reminded of your journal. We're back at making you do that. So shall we, Master? Let's see what comes out today.
Okay, I'm gonna pick this one up. And I don't know, इसका सीधा उल्टा मुझे पता नहीं क्योंकि मैंने ये journal actually दोनों तरफ से शुरू किया हुआ है.
Acha. Oh.
So I'll show you.
Let's see.
1 second.
This has to be my favorite part of Faithcast.
So see, ये इधर से भी है और ये इधर से भी है. Oh, so this is that incident when I told you in this about that gel figure.
Yeah.
So it's 9 December 2019. Today at lunch 1:30 p.m. I had a being accompany me. A translucent water gel-like figure. It came and sat next to me at the terrace where we were all having lunch. I could sense something pass by me from behind, and when it sat next to me, I looked at it and I could look through. I quietly ate my lunch and it was sitting next to me all the while. I was quieter than usual. Aman called me and I rushed to hang up the call. Sometimes I don't know why they show up.
Wow. I have mad goosebumps on my hand right now.
I tried to draw it also, but I don't think it looked like this. But yeah, I'm very poor at it.
Yeah, and it says 9 December 2019.
9 December 2019.
Wow. This is definitely eye-opening for me, and I'm sure everybody watching us today on Faithcast, because I actually had the biggest mist busted over here, which is about evil spirits and like bad spirits and negative spirits.
Again, fear, no, Hesha.
Yeah.
People operate on fear.
Yeah.
Because the moment you put somebody in that spot, that person is sold to you. But they don't realize that when you put somebody in the spot of encouragement and creativity and connection and love, you're forming something which is beyond this lifetime.
Yeah. Indeed. I'm looking forward to yet another episode that's going to come out super soon. So as I get to know more, और जो इतने सालों की conditioning जो मेरी हो चुकी है वो टूटती जाएगी, I think, while talking to you, Master.
मेरी भी टूट रही है अभी तक.
Everything is a learning, and every day is a new learning.
Yes.
But thank you so much, Master, like
Thank
always, for being here. Amalvi.
Amalvi.